Hey guys, what is going on? Payne here once again, and welcome back to another edition of my Everton career on FIFA 13. It's my third and final season, and the month is January. We all know what happens in January. The transfer window reopens, and you guys are not going to want to miss what happens within this video that you are watching right now regarding transfers. Do I bring in another player to add to this Everton side, or are we going to be saying goodbye to another player? So you're going to have to stay tuned, guys, to find out what happens. But first, before we can get to the transfer business side of things, we've got to go through Liverpool. Yes, that's right, we've got to play Liverpool once again. Everton's biggest rivals. It's a Merseyside derby. This time, though, it's to be played at Goodison Park. So we've got that home advantage behind us. And Brendan Rodgers decided to start the same Liverpool side that played against Everton in the previous BPL fixture, which was played at Anfield, and I was feeling really confident for this game ahead because at the time I had new players that came in like Feghouli and Matri, and they just wasn't gelling with the team. That's why we was picking up draws and losses, and we wasn't winning many games, and our team just didn't look confident at all against the bigger teams like City and Bayern Munich, where we lost that Copa Europe final. But now that they've had more match time on that pitch, I feel as though they're gelling just nicely with the team, exactly the way I wanted them to. And so that means that we can go ahead now and start picking up some good results against some of the bigger teams. And speaking of players, Ricardo van Rijn, what a sensational talent. He opened up the scoring, as you've just seen, against Liverpool. And it just seems to me as though every game that he plays, he just grows in confidence. He just seems to get better and better with every game that I start him. And speaking of young players that I signed, Ola John, what another amazing talent he has grown into in this Everton team. He took that ball down the wing, as you've just seen a couple of seconds ago. Early time cross, picked out the head of Marouane Fellaini, and Fellaini finished it, making it 2-0 to Everton. And whilst we're still on the subject of new signings, Feghouli, who I signed in the summer from Valencia, got himself sent off in this game, handed Liverpool a penalty. Suarez stepped up to take it, the guy that scored that winning goal against us at Anfield, and Bournemouth the Beast saves it, keeping his clean sheet in this game. And that was the full-time score, 2-0 to Everton, and we walk away from Goodison Park with not only those important 3 points, but our heads held high as Everton win the Merseyside derby. Absolutely amazing result for this team, and we also continue our good run of form. I think this Everton side are unbeaten in quite a few games, come to think of it. And check this out, Feghouli has been handed a one-match ban, that was to be expected, but Ricardo van Rijn, I received a transfer offer from Liverpool. He's the guy that opened up the scoring against Liverpool in that last fixture, and they was offering only 5.5 million, rejected straight away. He's worth more than that, and of course I rejected that offer from Bayer Leverkusen for my #1 goalkeeper, Bournemouth, for 6 million. Oh, come on, he's worth more than that in my opinion. But anyway, we move on to our next fixture. It's in the BPL once again. It's Monday Night Football, and we are playing away against Wigan Athletic. It's kind of a repeat from that previous video titled Merseyside Derby, if you guys remember, where we played Wigan, we beat them 1-0. That was our past result. So I was looking for a better performance this time around, because I feel as though, as I've already said, this team has strengthened, as some of the new players are starting to gel, especially Thiago. He's going to be sensational for this Everton side. But early on in the game, Fellaini picks out Ola John. I went to go for a finesse shot, curl that one round the goalkeeper. That's like my trademark goal. But the keeper got a hand to it, and Matri finished it up, making it 1-0 to Everton, and that was indeed the full-time score. Matri, once again, getting himself on the score sheet, and we grabbed those 3 points. After that game, I received a transfer offer for Darren Gibson from Bayern Munich. They said, we'll offer you 7.5, and I thought, no, you know what, I'm going to do a counter offer, try and screw as much out of them as possible. I said 9 million, they came back and agreed to match the offer of 9 million. So it looks like Darren Gibson is leaving the English Premier League for the German Bundesliga. But I'm telling you now, it's going to be very hard for the likes of Darren Gibson to get regular first-team football over at Bayern Munich, because they've got some sensational central midfielders over at that team. So I wish him the best of luck in his endeavours over at Bayern Munich. It's going to be very interesting. But then again, it's probably just another glitch within FIFA 13 where the managers will just buy random players because they've got nothing else better to do. They're bored. They can see all this money within their account, the transfer budget. It's just ridiculous. That's what it seems like to me anyway. But anyway, we move on to our next fixture. It's in the BPL. We was playing against Aston Villa away, and there were many changes to my starting 11 for this. So we had the likes of Ross Barkley starting, and of course Jordan Ayew. Many of you guys have been saying, did Jordan Ayew go to Swansea? No, he is still at Everton. I just haven't been able to play him because, of course, we've got Gignac and Matry. And don't forget, I'm using the 4-2-3-1 formation where I like to play just one striker up front and then have Tarat lying just behind him in that cam position, and then use Fellaini in the midfield, the central defensive mid, along with Thiago. That's how I'm working at the moment, and it seems to be working out with getting us the results. And after that fixture against Aston Villa, Bayern Munich have now finalised the deal with Darren Gibson. He is no longer an Everton player, he is now a Bayern Munich player. Anyway, Everton's next fixture was in the first leg of the Capital One Cup semi-final. It was against QPR, and I decided to sim it because at the time I really wasn't feeling it. I just didn't want to play it. It's as simple as that. I know it sounds bad, and I know I'm probably going to get a bit of hate for that. But not to worry, it's only half time because we've still got that second leg to play at Goodison Park, so I'm sure we can come from behind. And even if we don't, it's only the Capital One Cup. We're still in all of the other main competitions such as the FA Cup, the Champions League, and of course the Premier League. As you've just seen the league table, Everton are just 5 points behind Manchester City as the season draws closer and closer to an end. And I have this feeling whenever I play these games with Everton, there's just an atmosphere about it that we can still do it. Whatever happens, it's going to be an epic climax. I reckon it's going to come down to the very last day of the season to decide who lifts that BPL trophy between Chelsea, City and of course Everton. In this game though against Sunderland, Alessandro Matry was through on goal one-on-one, hit a patent trademark finesse shot, making it 1-0 within 10 minutes. And take a look at this. You'll have a bit of a laugh over this one. Went for that sweaty goal. Tarat through on goal. What was he playing at? Let's just take a look at that again. Matry finds Tarat in bags of space. Should have finished it there, but the ball goes sailing over that crossbar.
Taxi is filmed in front of a live stadium audience.
So after such a terrible miss and feeling embarrassed, Tarat wanted to get his goal and shut all the critics up, and that's exactly what he did. He got his goal that he was looking for earlier on in this video, and he got that second goal for Everton, and surely we was going to walk away from this game now with the win. We was going to get those 3 points. It was looking very confident, very professional performance my players were putting in, but straight after the game had restarted, Sunderland were on the attack straight away, not giving us a rest, and Sessenon made it 2-1, and for a second whilst I was playing this, I thought that was just going to go wide by a lick of paint, but no, it goes into the back of the net. But later on in the game, Morales made it 3-1 to Everton in the 74th minute. Surely then that was enough to see off the challenge of Sunderland, but no, they kept attacking. And Graham, once again, he was the danger man on the day for Sunderland, crossed in the ball, picked out Fletcher perfectly, and even though it was a simple tap-in, it was a pretty cool goal because the ball goes up into that top corner out of reach of Ballman. But my Everton side were able to hold in there just for those couple of remaining minutes, and we picked up those 3 points. Here is the league table. As you can see, we're doing pretty good. We're level on points with Chelsea after they drew their last game. No, I think they lost their last game, but we are playing Chelsea right now. This was our fixture, very important, and of course Rafael Benitez, the manager of Chelsea at the time, put out his strongest side to face my strongest Everton side. It was a battle of the best, Here is my starting 11. Borman, Van Rijn, Heidegger, Jagielka, Baines, Thiago, Fellaini, Morales, Olajon, Tarrant and Matri. As you know, it's the 4-2-3-1 formation, and as I mentioned earlier in that Aston Villa game, that's the formation I'm sticking with at the moment. Fellaini playing in that central defensive role alongside Thiago. I think it's working out just nicely, and I'm sorry guys, it had to be done. Sweaty goal, Morales getting himself on that score sheet for 2 games in a row now. Wonderful stuff. 1-0 to Everton, and we were just flying. Thiago picks out Fellaini. There's that partnership again, and he made it 2-0 to Everton in the 89th minute. Chelsea did keep attacking. They wanted to get themselves in this game, try and salvage a point from this game at least, but they just couldn't do it after Fellaini put that ball past Petr Cech. What a great goal as well. Finesse shot, trademark Payton goal, and that was the final score. 2-0 to Everton and 3 points. So we now leapfrog Chelsea in the league table, and this Everton side are right beneath Manchester City. Squeaky bum time? I think so. After that game, I received an offer from Alessandro Matri. Not going to sell him for 4.4 from Twente, but I rejected that one straight away. It's his first season. Anyway, we move on to our next fixture, guys. It's against QPR. It's that fixture. It's the second leg of the Capital One Cup semi-finals. Last time out, as you know, I simmed it. We lost 3-1, so we had our work cut out if we wanted to be going through to the final at Wembley. But as I said, even if we're not to worry, because it's, in my opinion, it's kind of a consolation trophy for some of the smaller teams that just can't manage to win anything within the season. But in this game against QPR, they really did want to get through to the final of the Capital One Cup. Wellington Nem, picked out by Remy, made it 1-0 just before half-time. He's such a great player, so unstoppable. And that was the full-time score. 1-0 to QPR, 4-1 on aggregate, and this Everton side will not be going to Wembley to compete in the Capital One Cup final. Now it gets good, because this is where I concentrate on the transfers. We received an offer for Thiago, who I brought in the summer, if you guys remember. Overall, he's 83, age is 23, and we received the offer from Swansea City for 80 million. Don't forget they had that takeover earlier on in the season, and here you go, guys. My offer has been accepted for Christian Tello. So all I had to do was offer him a contract worth 45,000 a week for 4 years, and I set his squad role to crucial first team player. We move on to our next fixture, our last fixture of this video. Gonna go through it really quickly, and it was the next round of the FA Cup. Yes, that's starting up again as we draw closer and closer to the end of the season. That was my start 11, very strong side, because I wanted to confirm my spot in the next round of the FA Cup. I don't want to be missing out on it this year. I want to be going to Wembley and competing in that. And there, of course, is Birmingham's starting 11 for this game, going for the very basic 4-4-2 formation. They've got the likes of Rooney up front, not Wayne Rooney, Jonathan Spector, former Manchester United player, and of course they've got Dean Ambrose and Zigic out on the bench. And I was very surprised that those two didn't start this one. But in this game, Birmingham, Davis gives away the penalty. And instead of having Baines step up, I give this one to Matri. I think he's been on such a great run recently, so I thought, why not? Let's get him on the score sheet yet again to add to his overall goals scored this season so far. In the second half, 57th minute, Olajon goes down, but Baines picks up the ball, swings in a nice cross, picking out the head of Fellaini, but Doyle gets a hand to it, but Matri once again was there to tap it in across the line, making it 2-0 to Everton. Nice, simple half volley into the back of the net. But Birmingham weren't just going to lie down and let my Everton side walk all over them. Dean Ambrose, who was brought on as a substitution later on in this game, had a crack at goal, hit the crossbar, and with the rebound he hit the ball and it just rolled across the line. Very disappointed in Borman as well. He could have kept his clean sheet. But at the end of the day, we picked up the win and we go through to the next round of the FA Cup. And there we have it, guys. To end this video on a good note, Christian Tello is now officially an Everton player. Guys, that is the end of this video. I do hope that you've enjoyed. Be sure to click those links in the description below and go ahead and follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, and I will see you all in the next one.